He'll bring it back from inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. So Connecticut's offense will get the first swing of the game. And they're going to be met by one of the best defenses in the nation, David. And I know seeing a defense doing what they want, when they want to do it, makes you a happy man.
Well, defense is starting to make a comeback. I'm excited about this new era of football. We're seeing better tackling, and we're seeing better coverage than we were a couple years ago. And this defense is fun to watch them on tape, fun to talk to their coaches. Jesse, this defense has been consistent all year long.
And they're dialed in, and they're so talented. They've got multiple NFL draft picks on that side of the football, and they don't...
There he goes! Got enough for the first. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. With the first down, they'll put it in play from the 33. Out of the gun, the inside handoff to the running back. He's going to lose a yard on that one. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. You can barely hear yourself thinking here as they're trying to get this defense off to a good start. The play action fake. And the rush will get to him at the 25.
And the defense gets a sack, and that's going to be the big determining factor in this football game. A week ago, he only got sacked one time. They've already got him on the ground. If they want to win this football game, they got to keep getting after the quarterback.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, hoping to throw beyond the sticks. Picked off, and the opening drive is stopped with an interception. Touchdown, Ohio State. What a play, not only the interception, but the great return for the score.
Oof, and after that pick six, not the start this quarterback wanted. You're going to have to be really good about having a short-term memory and just turn the page. There is tons of football here to be played. You made a big mistake on that last throw. Don't let it beat you for the rest of this football game. You've got a lot of ball left to play. You've got to keep going.
Setting up for the extra point after the first score of the game. And with the extra point, they get the first 7 of the game. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. Here he comes from inside his own 5. The coverage team maintains his discipline, not much doing on that return. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. UConn going back to work on offense. Finding themselves down 7-0, they'd love to get a drive going here. Use the play fake, now to throw. Right down the middle. He misses his man. The accuracy just not what it needed to be on that play. The roar of the crowd trying to fuel this defense to keep them pinned in their own end. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it. The horseshoe is rocking, trying to help their defense on 3rd down. Back to throw, it's Beard. And down he goes back at the 3.
This definitely isn't the start they drew up. I mean, you already throw a pick 6, now you get sacked. Man, they're going to have to find a way to settle this quarterback down, get something going offensively. So far, not a lot of positives to point to.
UConn will have to punt it away. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. First one is away, and boy, did he put in work in that loss last week, kicking it 5 times. So Ohio State's offense has the ball for the first time. The pull and throw off the RPO. And this one will be stopped for no gain. They're dealing with a 2nd and long. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. They're able to get him stopped just shy of the first down marker. And the Buckeyes are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. Looks as if the defense was a little too eager there, got into the neutral zone, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense.
Defense way over-eager there, and now the entire playbook just opens up before the eyes of this offensive coordinator. Looking to throw on 1st down. He's got him! And the defense settled in to stop that one for a short gain. 2nd down coming up. Looking to fire. Caught over the middle. It's Herrera. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. The Buckeyes come to the line on 3rd down, trying to keep this drive alive. He'll pull it on the read. Just across the 20 with a 1st down at the 19. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Wants to throw on 1st down off the play fake. And he motors into the end zone. Touchdown, Buckeyes! Man, he didn't just put it on his numbers. If he were throwing it at a front porch, he would have put that right in the keyhole. What a precise pass.
Right in the keyhole, right on the button, right on the face mask, whatever it was. Great throw, great timing. Nice job by the quarterback.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And the extra point makes it 14-0. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. They're ready to kick it away, and this crowd is buzzing after that last score. And he's going to bring it out of the end zone. Not a whole lot of room to operate on that return as the coverage unit was there and ready. To the air, it's Beard. Quick strike complete. Found a little bit of room to operate, but he'll be stopped just short of the 1st down. Out of the gun, the give to the back. Tackled at the 29. Let's give him 5 on that one. And the Huskies are in the hurry-up.
Really nice run there, picking up the 1st down. Now they're right back up to the line of scrimmage, ready to go again.
Grabbed in the middle. It's Royer. Nice gain on that play, but leaves it a little short of the 1st down. To the air on 2nd down. Grab near the sticks. It's Wood. Gets it to the 46-yard line. 1st down for this offense.
When offenses get 1st downs like this and they move the sticks and they get some momentum, look at what they do. They put their foot on the gas, run this no huddle, get to the line of scrimmage.
Nowhere to go with the ball, and down he goes at the 39. And this defense, this crowd, this atmosphere, it can rattle an offense in a hurry.
You can shake them up. When you can get to the quarterback and affect them, we all know they become very human. They start seeing things, and with this crowd, they can't hear anything. This place is going absolutely nuts. Nice job rushing the passer, igniting the crowd.
2nd down, he'll throw it. Bought a little time, lets it go. He's got an open man. Good, solid tackle. Hang on, Swoopy. The Buckeye crowd alive on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. And the heat gets home. They knock him down back at the 45.
Well, I think one of the biggest reasons why this team is finding themselves in a hole here in the 1st half is this has been a sack party. They can't keep the defense off of their quarterback. They haven't been able to get the ball deep down the field, throwing it with the consistency they want because they can't keep their quarterback standing up straight.
UConn will have to punt it away. And the return man couldn't get to it to make the catch, and the ball will bounce out of bounds. Okay, here comes the Ohio State offense onto the field. He put 2 touchdowns on the board in the early going, and now right back to work. Pulls it in. It's Herrera. Out across the 30 mark, down at the 35 after the 10-yard gain. From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. his way up just short of the 40 to the 39-yard line before he goes out of bounds. From the gun, they'll give it on the inside. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender. The Buckeyes line up trying to move the sticks on 3rd and short. He'll ride his man on the option. He's going to lose a yard on that one. They bring the punter onto the field now. First time we've seen their punt team this afternoon. Able to get the first one of the day away. They did have to send him out 3 times in that victory last week. Couldn't get away from that cover team, and they've got him down at the 23. This drive opens up at the 23-yard line. To the air, it's Beard. Under fire. Recovered by the defense, and he's off. Touchdown, Ohio State. And they turn it into a defensive score. No mid-season doldrums for these guys as they push out the lead in Week 6.
Well, the defense is winning this game, and they are helping out their own cause. That's the second time they've recovered a fumble and taken it in for a touchdown. You know they're opportunistic, and they pride themselves on being athletic and being physical, but you can't make mistakes against this unit, and it has absolutely killed this team early in this game.
We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Terrific showdown this week, guys. Let's take a look at what's going on. Bowling Green is currently trailing in this one, but it feels like the tide may be turning. This program has picked itself up before, and it's capable of it again today. They're trailing by 10 to Nevada. We've got our eye on things here and everything else going on right now, and any updates, you'll see them here, guys.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. UConn quick to the line.
Well, it's a nice job, too, of the quarterback after the play fake there, getting his eyes down the field. He had to get that to his tight end quickly, knowing he wasn't going to have a lot of...
And the quarterback pulled up 2 and sacked at the 12.
If your job is to irritate, to confuse, to hit, to make quarterbacks feel very uncomfortable, this defense is definitely doing their job. 6 sacks, that's the way to make the quarterback feel like he's having a hard day. He's had no response. This offensive line has no response, just a sack party.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to throw for it. Picked off, and they ruin an early drive with the turnover.
This is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision-making.
The Buckeyes roll that offense back out there. They could not have drawn up a better start than this, already up 21-0. Flips it out on the screen. And it's pretty obvious there was a big hole in that screen, and the defense ran right through it. Quickly to the tight end. There to make the tackle, and that's how we'll wrap up this first period. Well, guys, Ohio State has the lead here, and they jumped out to that edge early. As we wrap up the first, let's take a quick look at our game stats. Now, the challenge here, they've taken a punch, but they can't let it get out of hand as we start the second. This offense had a little extra time to think about it. Let's see what they have on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Knocked away, incomplete in the end zone. They'll send out the kicker here. And the holder will put it down on the left hash, a 34-yard attempt coming. Smashes it between the uprights. And they'll push that lead out a little further.
How great is it to know that if you can get the ball down somewhere close to the 40-yard line on your opponent's side of the field, you're walking away with at least 3 points because this dude is automatic.
They're really starting to extend that lead as they get ready to kick it away again. The returner will field it and bring it back. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. The UConn offense goes back to work. They've got nothing done so far, and they already find themselves in a 3-possession hole, Jesse.
Yeah, and as a head coach, you're wondering, what didn't I say? What didn't I do to get my team ready to go? Because we look like we're sleepwalking at this point, Dave.
Yeah, nothing went well in the first.
Turning it on! That'll be good enough for a first down. They'll mark it at the 30. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. They'll snap this one from the 30 on 1st and 10. Use the play fake, now to throw. Pressure all over the quarterback, and down he goes at the 24.
Goodness gracious, this is a master class, a clinic on how to get to the quarterback. The 7th sack of the game, are you kidding me? That's a season for some teams. They've lived in the backfield.
They've already racked up big sack numbers. It's starting to snowball, and they are ready to go again. Scanning the field, it's Beard. Makes the grab on the left. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short gain there. Ball's at the 27. This offense facing a 3rd and long. That's caught. It's Wood. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain. UConn will have to punt it away. Turns like that are why you don't settle for the fair catch if you don't have to. Picks up just a little bit of yards to help out the O. Off the play fake on 1st down to throw. Catch in the middle, it's Herrera. Finally corralled, but not before. He picks up the 1st down. Last completion moves the sticks in. Let's see if they try it again. Headed to the end zone. And he waltzes in for the score. Touchdown, Buckeyes!
This offense is so good. Man, they can hurt you in so many different ways, and they do it so quick, so explosive. They can put small drives together, big drives together. They've really had a great year, and that's why they're a top 10 offense.
Lining up to add another.
Kicker is on for the extra point.
And with the extra point, the lead is even bigger. Well, they didn't exactly milk the clock on that drive, did they? 2 plays and into the end zone for the touchdown. On the run from inside his own 5. And the return man reaches the end of the line, and down he goes. UConn going back to work on offense. They just didn't quite find the rhythm on that last drive, Jesse. They had to punt it.
I think they got to be more physical, David. I think up front they got to do a better job getting blocks and establishing this run.
And how easy does football become if you're the more physical team? If you can threaten the run and then run play action, it opens up the whole offense at your disposal.
Snagged out of the air. He's there to make the stop, and they threw it in reverse, losing yardage on that play. The RPO, it's complete. And they'll stop him about 5 yards short of the first. UConn will have to punt it away.
21-yard line. Brings up 4th down.
Not able to pop the big return, but they've got the ball back and ready to go with a fresh possession. They'll go back to work on offense. Coming out on 1st down with the play fake. And it just squirted through his hands. He wanted to take off and got too anxious. Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on 2nd down. The give out of the gun. A pickup of 8 now to convert this 3rd and 2. And the Buckeyes come to the line on 3rd and short, looking to keep this drive moving. Running to Green. 3rd down conversions are huge, and they've got one, and they're at the 35. Solid run on the last play gives this offense another 1st down. Wants to throw on 1st down. Throws to the wideout. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on 1st down. 2nd down coming. So now it's 2nd and long. Gives it on the option. Picks up the first down, still moving. They bring him down, but the big play will move the sticks.
You got to be impressed by what you've seen by this offense so far in this game. In the first half, they've got a nice lead, and they've been able to do it with explosive plays, but they've also been able to do it with efficiency and getting first downs and staying on the field. And you saw another great example right there running the football. Anything they want to do right now is working.
Operating in the red zone here on second down. Grab behind the line. It's Herrera.
Yeah, and listen, I'm going to move this guy everywhere. He's in the slot this time, but I'm not going to let the defense understand where he's lining up so they can double team him, put him in the slot, put him out wide. Either way, find this guy early and often.
It falls incomplete. He was trying to find his man for 6. Here comes the field goal unit as they'll try to take the 3. Right down the boulevard. And that'll add 3 more to a lead that is already way out of hand.
And 3 more on the board, and this kicker is starting to get a reputation starting off the season. Hasn't missed yet. Nice to have a guy that you can really, really depend on.
They keep pushing that lead out, and the kickoff team's getting some work. And he takes this from inside the 5. And the returner could find no daylight. He goes down. The UConn offense goes back to work. They really didn't move the ball at all the last time they had it, and hoping for better fortune this time around. Handoff from the shotgun. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. He's got it on the right. And he's wrestled to the ground. Wow, this offense is doing nothing. They've already punted 4 times and staring at the possibility of a 5th. UConn comes to the line after getting another first down.
That's a first down for the offense.
Looking for a man. It's Beard. Finds his man. It's Royer.
Hey, listen, on offense, just take what the defense gives you. Quarterback looks out wide. He sees the DB way off of the receiver. Throw him the easy hitch pass. You'll take that completion.
Caught near the sticks. It's Wood. Able to work it to the 39-yard line, and that'll be a first down. We've reached a 2-minute timeout, and a score on this drive would do wonders for their confidence. To the air on first down. Dumps it off in the flats. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one. The Huskies headed quickly to the line. Just keeps slinging it. With the catch, it's Royer. Makes the grab and not quite enough for the first down, but a good gain on that play. Shotgun snap on third down. Lofts one deep down the right side. And the pass is incomplete here on third down, but there is a flag. Let's check it out.
Pass interference.
This defense happy with how that last play turned out, so they'll decline the penalty. UConn will have to punt it away. Let's see if he can help the coverage team out with this one. And he's going to get it up to about the 29-yard line before he's brought down. Wants to go up top on first down. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball. Backed up now, here's second and long. Back to pass. He lofts one down the sideline. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers. Ball's at the 29. Defense can taste getting off the field. It's third and long. From the gun, wants to pass. He's not afraid to go deep. Catch and stride inside the 15. That is just a gargantuan play as he has it all the way down to the 12.
Well, we know this guy is special, and because of that, his quarterback is looking to him on critical down and distances. There on that third down, there was no question. It wouldn't have mattered if he was single covered, double covered, man, zone. That's where he was going with it, and the big-time playmaker outside picks up the first.
They just changed the dynamic of this possession in a heartbeat, and now it's 1st and 10 from inside the red zone. Catch in the middle. It's Herrera. They've got it down to the 3-yard line. Really well done on that throw and catch. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. Leaves it with the back. He's got it down to the 1-yard line right on the doorstep of Pater. This offense has been running wild in the first half, but wait, they want more before the touchdown, Ohio State! And they take it in for 6 more points.
And with that score, this thing is getting ugly. This offense has had their way, and not only have they had their way, now they finish the half like you're supposed to, scoring the football, building on their lead. This defense is going to have to go into half and find some answers.
They'll try to add another to their lead.
Extra point.
And that kick was perfectly down the middle. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the first half. Back to throw, it's Beard. Bringing the heat. Man, did he pay for it with that hit as he got rid of the ball. After the incompletion, it's 2nd and 10 from their own 25. They'll send the tight end in motion. Leaves it with the running back. Really nice job to squirt his way up to the 31-yard line. First half in the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Guys, who's had a better seat there in Columbus for an entertaining first half than you? And it's been a dynamite first half, leading to a one-sided score right now. It's not over, but I think both sides know this is on the verge of a blowout. That opposing defense is inside its locker room right now wondering 2 things. What just happened, and what do we do now to try to make this respectable? And with that, we send it back to the guys in the shoe.
UConn has it teed up to start this second half. He'll start the return inside his 5. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. Here comes the Ohio State offense onto the field. He let that thing fly quickly, but he couldn't make the connection. Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. Grabbed in the backfield. It's Herrera. Puts him in the spin cycle. He gets those chains moving, gets it out to the 42-yard line.
A lot of smiles right now in this offense. They've got a big lead, and they're just having fun out there. They're still throwing the football. These receivers are still getting open. Pass protection is still great. This quarterback's thinking to himself, man, I'm going to be padding my stats here in the second half of this game because everything we're dialing up is working.
They'll snap this one from the 42. It's 1st and 10. He'll keep it himself. Quick spin on the run. Continuing to churn and move it forward, and they're closing in on midfield. It's down at the 48. Back to pass on 2nd down. Right on the money. At the 40, there he goes. Taken out of bounds after a good pickup there. There is striking distance at the 37. Off the play fake on 1st down to throw. It's caught downfield. Perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle at the 17. The Buckeyes will snap it on 1st and 10. Trying play action.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This offense had so much success in that first half, so in the 3rd quarter, they come out, and the quarterback looks like he's still dealing. This has been a really nice drive. That was a...
Breaks into the open. Nifty little scamper on this one. Enough for the 1st down, and he slides in safely. The Buckeyes didn't start this drive with great field position, but they have moved methodically down the field. He pushes it forward all the way to the 2-yard line. If you don't tip the scales at 3 bills, stay on the sidelines. Big boys in the goal line D. Go straight ahead. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. They've moved it right to the precipice of a score, and they need 1 more yard. Scores on the sneak.
The defense knew coming into this game they were going to have their hands full. Not only did they have to worry about these running backs in the running game, they had to worry about the quarterback as well. On design runs and on scrambles, they didn't have an answer for him right there.
Lining up to tack 1 more onto that lead. And the extra point was good. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Hey, guys, just wanted to give you a quick update on a game happening in the SEC. Oklahoma is trailing, but don't tell me this team can't come back. I once saw Jalen Hurts lead the Sooners back from 28-3 down. We'll see what they're made of today. It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to Texas. Implications galore inside the SEC, and we'll circle back if anything big should happen.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. 3rd down coming. Motion from the back. Dropping back, it's Beard. Under fire. Took a shot as he threw. Another incompletion on 3rd down. UConn will have to punt it away. They're up to a 6 kicks today. Fair catch called for and taken at the 30-yard line. Okay, here comes the Ohio State offense onto the field. Man, what a drive last time for the touchdown. That passing attack was lethal, David.
Yeah, and you hear all these stupid commentators like me and Jesse talking about great balance, run and pass. No, when you throw that good, spin the ball around.
So the defense has to find a way to affect the quarterback on this drive because last drive he had way too much time to throw.
He'll toss it. And they just didn't get anybody on that defense out of position, and they will lose yardage on that one. Wants to fire on 2nd down. It's complete to the right. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that 1st down marker. On 3rd and long, trying to have a big completion here. Working the middle. They've got it inside the 30. They'll mark it at the 28. It's 1st down. Looking downfield on 1st down. Unloads to the wideout. They've avoided the interception all day, but they're lucky to get that one back here late. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if the quarterback got confused on 1st down. He might have thought the defense was going to be in man coverage that time, but they were in zone. They fooled him and just didn't seem like he had his eyes in the right place, was forcing that ball to his intended target.
It's picked off. Don't see that very often from this Heisman Trophy candidate. Bringing it back.
And that's got to feel good, and that's a play this young man is never going to forget. His first interception of the season. Great job reading the QB's eyes and getting to the football.
UConn going back to work on offense. We'll see if they can be a little more productive this time around. A 3-and-out the last time they had the ball. Pulls and throws off the RPO. Trying to hit him with a quick game on 1st down, and nothing doing there. To the air, it's Beard. Grabbed over the middle, it's Royer. And just a short, safe pass play, they pick up a few. It'll be 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Just gets rid of it to the running back underneath. Really nice job to convert that 3rd down, and they've got it at the 33. Wants to throw it. Fires to the wideout. Finds a man on the left. And he's brought down after a nice gain. This UConn offense really has it going. Looking to throw on first down. Got it in the middle. It's Wood. Touchdown, Huskies. The offense cashing it in on that drive.
Really nice job working the route and getting himself open. He was able to locate the football, snag it out of the air, and this guy now has 5 receiving touchdowns on the year.
On to attempt the try. Smashes it through for the PAT. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. On the move from inside his 5. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. Opening play of this drive will come from their own 23. He'll do it himself. Shakes off the defender. Didn't get much done on that run. He'll fight his way out and maybe pick up a yard. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Try to make up for some of that lost ground on second down. Wants to go up top. Makes the grab on the shuffle. He's brought down, but he went backwards after that completion, not the way they had it drawn up. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to turn one loose downfield. And the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down. And the Buckeyes will call on their punt team. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Looking for running room, he'll get it to the 43-yard line before he stopped. So the first play of the drive will come from the 43. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. Back to pass. It's Beard. Makes the catch. They'll pick up 5. It'll be 3rd and 5. Trying to pick up a first down.
3rd down coming.
Well, guys, Ohio State has the lead here. And as we switch ends of the field, let's take a quick look at the national rankings. As we enter the 4th quarter, let's see if anything memorable can come from this one. With the break, they had a little extra time to dial something up this 3rd down play. From the gun, wants to pass. The sweet feet keeping the play alive. He's not going to make it. What a job by this defense to stop him in his tracks. Punt is on its way. That ball will make its way out of bounds, and they'll mark it dead at the 15. The Buckeyes roll that offense back out there. They'll have another opportunity to extend this lead after punting last time, David.
And it's important to put that punt behind you. It's over. Let it go. Get back to what you were doing that built this lead.
Yeah, and defense, obviously, they won a few downs that last drive, so we got to put them on their heels here. Maybe mix up a few personnel groupings and try to show them some pictures they haven't seen yet.
The Buckeyes really need to keep this drive alive on 3rd down. Rides to back and leaves it. Can't get him to the ground. And with that effort, they pick up a fresh set of downs. They have it at the 34-yard line. The offense lining up for a first down play. And he just overshot his man and threw it out of bounds, incomplete. What will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? Couldn't connect on first down, now back to the air. They're working that left side.
I like the decision by the quarterback here. Just get the ball out of your hands, get it to your playmaker. A lot of times he'll dance and make even bigger plays than he did here, but it was still a positive game.
Using the quick game. Doesn't quite make it to the first down marker. He's a yard short. The Buckeyes decide to punt it away. Boy, they had a chance to track that thing down, but it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. The UConn offense goes back to work. Last time they had it, didn't pick up a first down. Let's see if they can put something together here. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. Second down, they'll go to the air. And the quarterback goes down at the 11-yard line.
I know this defense came into this game hoping to get pressure on the quarterback. I don't know in their wildest dreams if they ever thought he was going to look this good. I lost track at 5 sacks. They have been all over this quarterback today.
The defense all revved up after that earlier sack, and they'll try to stop him right here. On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs here. And his first pass is incomplete. UConn will have to punt it away. 3 and out and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. Excellent coverage that time. Didn't give him any room to set up the big return. Here comes the Ohio State offense onto the field. They had to punt it away on their last possession, but man, what great field position this time.
I mean, this is awesome. Like, last possession didn't go great. Now you're set up in an opportunity to get some points. Start thinking about what plays I like, Jesse, as I cross the 50.
There are a lot of offensive coordinators out there, David, and in this position, they like to take a shot right away and try and capitalize on this field position.
Just on the edge of the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 21. Tight end in motion, see how the D reacts. He just missed the target on that one. Got to put it on his body. Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. The RPO, fire complete to the left. And there were no creases or crevices to run through, and they shove him out of bounds. 3rd and long, and he'll try to throw for it. Touchdown, Buckeyes! Snagged in the end zone to give them 6. They build this 4th quarter lead, and they are just minutes away from going 5-0.
Pure domination all game long for this offense. Whether they've been running the football, whether they've been throwing the football, critical down and distances, situationally all up and down the field. This defense has had no answer for these guys. What an impressive performance by the O.
And the extra point will tack another one onto this lead. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Hey, guys, just wanted to give you a quick update on a game happening in the SEC. Oklahoma is currently ahead early in this one, but they just haven't been able to really pull that schooner ahead offensively. They're up by 5 over Texas. It's an outcome that, if it holds, will have SEC fans buzzing all week.
Oh, he's got some space. Stopped at the 42, but he got 15 yards on the play. That's the type of explosive play you love to start a drive with. 1st down from the 42. He's going to lose a yard on that one. Lost 1 on that last one. It's 2nd and 11. Looking to fire. Pocket breaking down. And the defense gets home. Yippee-ki-yay at 35.
You've got to love what you're seeing if you're the head coach of this team, because your defense is simply not resting on their laurels, and they're playing until there's zeros on the clock. They've got a massive lead. We're late in the 4th quarter, and they're still getting sacks.
They'll send the back in motion. On 3rd and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. Takes the easy completion, and they pick up just a few on that completion. UConn will have to punt it away. They'll look to pin him deep. Hauls it in and looking upfield. And they'll get him down after the return at the 27-yard line. Okay, here comes the Ohio State offense onto the field. Trying to burn this defensive back. Hauls it in on the right. Just gashing this defense. A big gainer to the 40-yard line.
Well, this offense has just been dialing up explosive play after explosive play. That's a big part of why they have a huge lead at this point. Even in the fourth quarter with that lead, they are still taking shots. They are still being aggressive. Pedal to the metal.
Here's a quick throw out to the left.
And this offense continuing to spin the football, man, continuing to add to a great day. They built this big lead. They've shown you a variety that they can do a lot of really, really good things. And I like it, man. Continue to throw the football. Continue to be who you are. It's the defense's job to stop you.
And the Buckeyes come to the line needing just inches for the first down. On 3rd and short, the power run here. He's got enough for the first down, and that ought to do it. They ought to be able to run out the clock from here. They go to the ground. Gets it past the marker. And that is how we will wrap this one up. This is what you're looking for when you have the better team. Go out and show it. Don't fool around with them. Go out and play to a standard of excellence.
Just dominant. You know you're going to take care of business. You know you're going to win. It's like how many? How many can I win by? And I like that you keep your foot on the gas and just continue to pile it on. It's their job to stop you. Let them do their job. You just keep going on.
It's not about the X's and the O's. It's the Jimmies and the Joes. This is why recruiting is so important in college football. They just had better players. More physical. They were faster, and it showed today.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.